Every year, brands come out with a bunch of new gear, hoping that you will break down and fork out even more cash to upgrade to the newest model. Sometimes new gear is worth it, and sometimes it's not. So how do you know the difference? Well, let's talk about some of the new gear that came out this year, what's worth buying and what's not. First, let's talk about the gear that isn't worth upgrading, starting with the new duplex zip. And first, let me just say that this isn't a bad tent, and if you're loyal to Zpacks, it may just be the tent for you. I'm just personally not impressed with these updates. Basically, Zpacks took the incredibly popular duplex, gave it a zippered fly door and a magnetic tie back to try to compete with X-Mid and Tarp Tent. And I'm not saying that these are not needed upgrades. It's about time that Zpacks stopped relying on just being the lightest and actually started adding desirable features. It just kind of feels like too little too late. Not to mention, I had the zipper come undone on mine due to missing seam tape, and this was the worst performing tent in my recent wind test video. This could have just been a one-off, but it kind of feels like they were rushing to get this tent released and maybe neglected some quality control. I just pulled the zipper off of my duplex zip. That sucks, because I'm ready to go to bed. Personally, I would wait on this and instead get what I'm going to show you later in this video. I'm also unimpressed with the new Outdoor Vitals CS40 pack, and once again, it's not a bad pack. There just isn't anything to really differentiate it from every other pack on the market. It's a lightweight roll top pack with 2 side pockets and a back mesh pocket. They added some nice padding in the back and shoulders and used some nice carbon fiber stays. Like I said, it's a nice pack. I'm just not seeing anything to justify the almost $400 price tag. Okay, earlier this year, I recommended the Big Agnes Zoom Ultralight pad as the highest scoring pad in a 9-pad comparison, and after some more use, I'm walking back on that. Don't get me wrong, this is still a lightweight and extremely comfortable pad. It's just not warm enough to be the one pad I buy for 3-season use. It claims a 4.3 R value that should be enough to take you all the way to freezing, but in my and several other people's opinions, it's not really that warm. Instead, I recommend the Big Agnes Rapide. You will take a weight penalty, but be much warmer when the temps start to drop. Okay, the very first sleeping pad I ever owned was a Thermarest X-Lite, and this is the pad that you will find in a lot of backpackers' packs. It's warm and light, but it's probably one of the most uncomfortable pads out there. They updated both the X-Lite and the X-Therm this year to make them warmer and quieter, but didn't do anything for the comfort. I even did some small tests to try to measure the quietness. Turns out they're only 3 to 4 decibels quieter, which is enough for the human ear to hear the difference, but not enough to make this worth buying. And unfortunately, until they find a way to improve the comfort of this pad, I'm still not going to recommend it. Okay, but what does make a piece of gear worth buying? Well, what if every time you bought a new piece of gear, that same piece of gear was given to someone in need? That is what happens every time you buy a pair of Bombas socks, who is today's sponsor. I did a video about this last year, and since that time, I have gotten comment after comment from people who say they have either received a pair of Bombas socks or they have helped give out a pair of Bombas socks to those in need. Not only that, but they make really great hiking socks with nice features like seamless toe and a honeycomb arch support. Every time I go out, even when Bombas isn't sponsoring videos, I'm wearing Bombas socks. Go check them out through the link in the description and use code MyLifeOutdoors to get 20% off your first purchase. That's new customers only. If you watch this channel much at all, then you know how much I love the Nemo Hornet Elite. My only complaint is the narrow floor that can't accommodate 2 wide pads, but earlier this year, Nemo released the Hornet 3-person tent. Now, it's not really a 3-person tent, and I don't like conceding that 3 really means 2 and 2 really means 1. That's BS. Call them what they are. That said, this tent is a palace for 2 people and still weighs less than a lot of 2-person tents. If you want the extra space without the extra weight, you really should check it out. Now, you're probably tired of me talking about the Osprey Exos Pro 55. I think I've mentioned it in the last 3 videos I've done, but that's because I love this pack. It's lightweight, it's reasonably priced, almost $100 cheaper than the Outdoor Vitals pack, and only a little bit heavier. But the reason I like this pack is the comfort. I just don't think you're going to find a lighter, more comfortable pack. If you're looking to go ultralight but don't want to give up on features of a more traditional pack, you really should check out the Exos Pro. Just a week or two ago, Zpacks released the offset Solo, and I haven't had much time in this tent yet, but so far I'm really impressed. It feels like Zpacks was really thinking out of the box on this one and trying to compete in areas other than weight. It's a 2-pole trekking pole tent with a small carbon fiber pole to pop out the feet. This gives a ton of headroom in a fairly lightweight tent, just 19 ounces on my home scale. They give it dual magnetic tiebacks, which is one of only 2 tents I've seen doing this, and it's about time. But best of all, they fixed 2 of the biggest Zpacks complaints. The door is out of the way of the pole and doesn't fall to the ground when you open it. Unlike with a duplex zip, Zpacks was really trying to do something unique here, and I love it. But probably the most impressive change I've seen is the new X-Mid Pro 2 Plus. Now, I haven't always been the biggest fan of the X-Mid. It's a great tent, but didn't quite live up to the hype in my opinion. But I may be changing my opinion when it comes to the new Pro 2 Plus. This might be the perfect tent. The Pro 2 Plus has an updated Nemo floor, has added the dual magnetic tiebacks, but most importantly can accommodate 2 wide pads. The increased size even seems to fix my headroom complaints. I haven't had 2 people in this tent yet, but so far it feels incredibly roomy. I get the feeling that Dan Durson is on a never-ending pursuit of perfection, and he might have just found it. Alright, that's all the gear that's worth buying in 2023 and all the gear that's not. If you want to see even more gear that I recommend you avoid, go check out this video right here. Please like, subscribe, and do all those other things, and as always, thanks for watching.